Hello and welcome to the Young Film Academy podcast, the essential podcast for teenagers looking to find their way into the creative industries. I am Dan Allen and I am joined this week by Larry Jones. How's it going?
Very well, thank you, Dan. Essential, I like that word. Essential listening, you know, because ultimately we are going to cover more bases than any one particular website, apart from YouTube. But I mean, you know, try finding stuff on YouTube. You'll end up down a dark hole anyway. You know what it's like. I end up hours of, dog videos and, all sorts. Very, very off-piste.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. You go on there to find out how to shoot a scene, and next thing you know, You're in hamster hell. Hamster hell.
Yeah.
Hamster hell. Or more nichely, capybara hell.
It does get quite niche, doesn't it, out there?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to pause, take a break at some point after this podcast, just YouTube search capybaras. They are adorable. They're like giant hamsters. They are very cute. And if you see them in person, it's like mind-blowing. It's like someone's taken a guinea pig and just scaled them up in Photoshop, and you're like, that thing doesn't look real.
They are worth Googling, to be fair.
Yes,
it's a good recommendation.
They are 100%. But if you're tired of Googling and you're tired of searching for stuff and you just want the knowledge, the wisdom, and the career guidance to come to you, then you're in the right place. I think you're
Here it is. I actually find it really exciting, even though I'm a proper grown-up and everything. I actually find these super interesting and helpful, and I always go away thinking about it afterwards. So I hope that has the same effect on the listeners. And it's not just me and you having a great time.
I'm sure it does. I'm learning so much all the time anyhow. So as you are. So it's wonderful, really, isn't it? But enough of us. We've got someone very lovely to talk to, which is a special effects makeup artist who I've had the pleasure of working with, and she's going to tell us all about that journey and sort of working as a special effects makeup person, and a bit about that process and studying to become such a talented individual who's worked on the likes of Disney and Warner Brothers shows as well, which is cool.
Very
so
exciting.
welcome to the podcast, Jojo. How's it going?
I'm good, thank you. How are you guys?
Good.
Very good.
Excited to have you here. 10 out of 10, Dan. That's good.
Yeah, well, it's a Tuesday at time of recording, so that's always very good. Actually, I was having this chat with someone not that long ago about which day of the week would you be if you were a day of the week.
That's a good question. We should incorporate that.
Yeah, I thought I was sort of I don't know. I thought I was a Sunday, but apparently I'm a Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who told you that then? Who brought you down to earth?
No, someone that said that I'm too busy to be a Sunday. Do you know what I mean? Which I appreciate. How about you guys? What would you be?
Well, I'm a Wednesday's child by birth.
Okay.
But now because Wednesday's become hump day in the world, I kind of want to get away from that. I kind of want to move away from that. I don't want to be the person bringing everything down. So I don't know. I think Sunday's my favourite day, but I think when it comes down to it, probably a Friday. Always buzzing for the weekend.
Yeah,
very nice.
I think I'd be a Friday as well, ready for the weekend. Although every day's a party day for me.
There you go.
But
that's a little sneak peek into Jojo's life.
But that's why you are a Friday, is because you can turn any other day of the week into what feels like a Friday.
I think at this point in my life, I don't go by what day it is anymore. So if someone says we go for a drink and it's like a Monday night, I'm like, yeah, where are we going? Let's go.
That is a thing though with working in the creative arts, right? Like the days of the week disappear quite often.
Exactly.
And you don't realise it's the weekend and stuff like that. Structure is less of a thing in the creative industries. Was that like a surprise for you, or were you sort of a less structured person prior to sort of working in the arts, Jojo?
Well, as you know, I've got children, so I was never structured anyway. It's just like I used to go, have you got a school today? And it's like, yeah, okay, come on then, let's go. But
relying on them, that's always a disaster, isn't it?
Like, I didn't even know it was Easter holidays until her dad was like, we're going away for the holiday.
Why are you still here?
Like, what? Where are you going? Ain't she got school? Yeah.
Yeah, no, we obviously Young Film Academy who do loads of like Easter courses, and that's the only sort of reason I'm aware of.
Yeah.
When it's sort of half-term breaks and stuff like that. That, and also, you know, when you sort of, I take myself shopping at sort of 10 a.m. on a Tuesday, and it's busy. I'm like, what are you guys doing here? I came here because I thought it'd be quiet, and I wanted that sort of solo shopping experience, you know? You feel like you almost, you know, the shop's open for you. Is how it feels.
I actually went to a Tesco last Sunday at like 5:30, and it was closed. Obviously, it was Sunday. I was like, "Damn it! Gonna have to order some food in." Classic.
I have had that a few times as well, actually. But that's also because I think that today is, you know, you get like the Tesco Expresses, which are open till 11, and they don't care what day of the week it is.
No,
and I'm like, that's a sissy thing to do. And to then find one that you trust, or you thought you could trust, and then you get there at 5:05 and it's closed. It's gutting, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Devastating. Nothing worse than being hungry on a Sunday afternoon.
100%. Anyway. So, Jojo, you are obviously a makeup, special effects makeup artist. How would you define your title?
I think.
What do you put in your CV?
I generally put SFX makeup artist because that's my passion, is doing all the blood and gore and creatures and stuff. But I do it all. So if someone asks me to do like general makeup, then I'll do it for film. But my passion is all the better fun stuff, I'd say.
Yeah. And do you have to work your way up to doing the fun stuff, or do you start on the fun stuff and then slowly fill in sort of your knowledge of the general makeup? That I assume I'm working in an element of like layers here. So, you know, like, okay, you start with the general, and then the bloody makeup goes on top. Is that how it works when you learn it, or?
Well, I actually like worked on like beauty counters and stuff for years, so I knew how to do general makeup anyway. It is a bit different for film, but it's basically the same. And then I got really bored of doing that, so I started self-teaching myself the SFX.
Amazing.
And then I did a short course for like a year, and then I threw myself into the industry, into like independent films. I did one of your films, was one of my first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To a cracking
job. How did I do it? Yeah, there we go. That's fine then. Those YouTube videos worked then.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I did that for a few years, and then I saw this master's degree, and I thought, I'm just going to apply, see what they say. And I got in, did that for a year. So yeah, and then lockdown happened. Came out of that and lockdown.
Oh my word! Yeah,
straight away.
So it sounds like, you know, I think people might be worried about sort of diving straight into stuff like, you know, I need to have a gazillion amount of different training things from different places, but ultimately you learn on the job as well, right? Exactly. Like that's where you're sort of encountering the issues, because you did your master's years after already having been working in the industry.
Yeah, well, the main reason I did my master's is because I wanted to learn how to do the mold making and stuff like that, because YouTube doesn't really show you as much, and you know, you need to be hands-on to learn properly. So that's the only reason I did it. But there's a lot of SFX makeup artists that don't do normal makeup; they just do SFX. So it's good that I have both abilities, because then I can get like jobs if needs be, because it is really quiet at the moment in the special effects makeup industry. So it's good that I can just get on a normal film, not a horror film.
Although that said, there's probably loads of the amount of indie horrors that are being made.
There is quite a few. But they want the wonderful with like 20 quid or something. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not
yeah,
going to happen.
Can we just like blow someone's head off for a $5, please?
Or exposure. Exposure is the classic one.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Exposure bucks.
Yeah,
which you can
pay your
in.
bills with that, can you? Which is annoying.
Not now, you can't. We do all these prices, God.
100%.
So, in terms of your process, Jojo, like when you get a script through, is that what makes you decide whether you want to do a job or not?
I mean, it depends if I know the person. If I've worked with them before, then I generally say yes anyway. Just because they're my mates and stuff like that, and I've worked with, and I know the crew and stuff, and it's a good vibe on set. There's nothing worse than turning up on set and not knowing anyone and having to get to know people like in the first couple of days, and it's like, oh, do I act like an idiot now or like give it a few days?
Save it. Save it for day 5. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but yeah, generally it's just people I know. Unless it's like a bigger production, then yeah, I'm like running there. Don't care if I don't know anyone, I'm there. So
amazing. And so obviously when you first dove straight in, like it must have been sort of coming from sort of Makeup Counter, you'd already done some training bits yourself. Obviously at that point, did you know anyone in film then or
No, not really. So I joined like this website called Shooting People.
Yes.
So that's like for people that are just coming into the industry, very independent. A lot of it's short films and stuff on there. So that's what I did. I did quite a few short films before I went into a feature film, which was like gives you the experience. It's not so long as well, so it's quite nice. But yeah, that's what I did. Just went on, joined this website, and just kept applying to jobs until someone took pity on me and said, "Yeah, okay."
And in that point, that probably was exposure at that point, or were you getting paid on your first job?
My first couple of ones were exposure only, but I didn't mind because I was still working on the beauty counters and stuff. So
yeah, sort of having that additional vocation and whatnot. Yeah, because you do have to do that quite often, right? This is why it comes up quite a bit where the industry is. That's where it can be quite classist sometimes. It's like who can actually afford to invest loads of time and make zero amounts of money. And the reality is it's actually only a very small pool of people.
Yeah.
Whereas I think you sort of proved there are ways to make it work, but it obviously is it's more difficult, isn't it? It's like more barriers. So did they go well? Were you worried about sort of diving straight into being on a shoot?
Well, funny enough, my first short film I had to make because I've obviously got an art degree as well because that's what I studied at uni. So they wanted me to do art department as well. So I was not only was to do makeup, I was doing set design.
But so zombies, I've heard, is sort of like the bread and butter for like special makeup effects and stuff. Is that quite a common thing that you get?
Yeah, I've done a lot of zombies, and then I also did. There used to be a Comic-Con for The Walking Dead called Walker Stalker.
Interesting.
So I did that for like 4 years with the same company. So I'd go there, create some zombies to walk around, and then if the general public wanted to be a zombie for the day, I'd do their makeup as well.
That is very cool.
Yeah, I also went to Germany and did it as well, so that was fun.
That's amazing.
That was
so
fun.
Do you have like a brand of zombies? Like, would somebody be able to look at a zombie and be like, that's one of Jojo's? Do you know what I mean? Or are you like working off a general idea of like what a zombie looks like? How do you get your inspiration?
When I first started doing SFX, it's like the bloodier the better. But now I generally do my zombies less so. They're more neutral, not so much blood.
Do you think that's kind of scarier in a way because it's sort of closer to real life?
I've actually got a film coming up next month that involves a zombie-ish creature. So I'm just going through the process of designing that at the moment. So see how that comes out. But I think it's going to be more World War Z than gore, as always. But yeah.
Yeah, and go on, Dan, sorry.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, on set, kind of what do you find are your kind of biggest challenges? So like you've got your design, you've probably done, I'm guessing, a rehearsal of it, like a practice of it and everything. But when you get onto set, what do you kind of find are your biggest challenges?
I mean, like some of the independent films, they're easier because normally it's my own designs and stuff. So it's what I say basically. But like I've worked on other productions where they've had like a main makeup artist, designer, and then I've got to go and do what they want. So that can be quite challenging if you get it wrong, kind of thing, because sometimes you can get lost in your own little thought process and do it the way you think it should look, so to speak. But yeah, I find that quite hard following someone else's vision.
Yeah,
when especially when you're also a makeup artist as well. So, but then you just go with it, get paid, and that's it. Go home.
Yeah. And do you find like that you will often get enough time for what you need to do? Is that a conversation you have beforehand, or is that always kind of a pressurized thing?
Oh no, it's always pressure, especially like time, especially on independent films. They don't give you enough time at all. Especially Dan. No.
Especially Dan Allen. He's the worst.
No, Dan's me and Dan's done quite a couple of things and he's given me loads of time. But yeah, some people, they'll give you, oh yeah, you got 10 minutes to do 5 people. It's like, what? Yeah. That's not going to happen. Like,
indie films are so hard, isn't it? Like, I think the last film we did, this cave film, I think the lady who was on the special makeup effects, I think I said to her at the start, I was like, I'm going to give you all the time you need, which I try and do. And like the things we've worked together on, Jojo, obviously, I think largely we have. Yeah. And then just inevitably things get sort of pushed back and back and back and sort of things overrun. And it's always makeup seems to be the first thing that it gets like etched into. And I don't know why. I'm sorry on behalf of all directors. Here is your apology. It just always seems to happen. It's like, where can we save time? That's what you're looking at. Where can you save time? So it's like, oh, this thing that should take half an hour, do it in 5 is, I'm sure, what you hear all the time, right?
All the time. And then it's like makeup's always getting blamed if they're running behind when it's not. It's camera, setting up lights. It's like the actors are ready. Actors are ready. Sort your gaffers out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if was it the the lighting and camera, how long do they have to set up each shot? Quite a bit of time, relatively. Like they take up most of the day in a way. But then the moment sound or makeup takes 5 minutes to do anything, it's like, oh my god, we're going so far.
Everyone's huffing and puffing, aren't they, in the background?
We've been waiting for you for ages.
Yeah. Oh, the curse of being a makeup artist, Jojo.
Oh, seriously.
How do you have patience in those situations? Like, how do you manage that?
I always blame costume, to be honest. I was waiting for costume. They were in costume. I was waiting for them to come. It's not my fault.
And do you get better at working quicker in that way? Or I know some things just take as long as they take, don't they? Especially if you're working on a complicated, a full face for a zombie or something. Obviously that's just going to take as long as it takes. So how do you get better at managing that as you get more experience in your career?
I think it's just practice, I guess. Just keep practicing and, honing in on your skills, and you do get quicker eventually, but then sometimes being too quick can, make it not look so good. So you do need to take your time as well.
Yeah. It's a balance, isn't it? Exactly. Finding the right medium between the two. And have you kind of worked on in many situations where you've had to come in, so like somebody gets an injury basically in the scene, and so then you've got to work in between kind of one block of filming and the other? Do you have to come on to set to do that often?
Yeah, I've done that quite a lot. Yeah, jump on set, apply it quickly, ask for a light, apply it quickly, wait for that for half an hour to come and be set up, and then just apply it on quick, like as quick as possible, really. I mean, when it's like a big wound with lots of blood, then you can get away because there's blood covering like all the imperfections and stuff. So that's quite lucky in a way. But yeah, I've done a lot of on-set makeups.
That's always my solution. Is just chuck blood on it, if nothing else, and then hope for the best. But I know that sort of it's often not desired, because that covers up the craft sometimes, right? Like when it actually does go well, the more it's covered in blood, the less that work shines through. So that can actually be less effective because you don't see all sort of the intricacies of the thing. But I wonder when you're scaling that back, so let's say, okay, there's a wound mid scene, right? So someone gets hit by something and you have to jump on set and apply it. Let's say they give you half the time that you need. What in your brain, sort of what calculation are you doing? Because if you try and do the whole 30 minutes of stuff in 15 minutes, that's surely going to look rubbish. So do you take a step out? Do you approach the actual prosthetic differently, or whatever the thing is you're doing?
So if something like that comes up, then I'll just give myself the time that I think that it'll take, and they just have to wait. So
yeah,
I mean, you could get away with that on indie films, but maybe not so much on bigger stuff. But luckily, I haven't had to do any wounds yet on bigger stuff. So,
but I suppose it's a kind of negotiation, isn't it? Like what you're saying is kind of, if they want it to look a certain way and they want it to look as good as, can be shot in close up, looks really authentic, then you have to allow time for it, don't you? And I think it sounds to me like you're just being strong and confident in your own, process and what you need to be able to do your job properly. You have to kind of fight for that a bit sometimes.
All the time. Always, yeah. I'm always arguing with first ADs. It seems every film I've done. I get on really well with them outside of the job. That's lucky. Oh yeah, sometimes. But I actually did do a little short film. I think in January, where I had to jump in 4 times for this scene. This guy gets an allergic reaction, so he gets puffy, and eventually his eyes are full on allergic reaction. So that was interesting to do because I had to
apply. You're doing kind of different stages of it as well,
and it's his neck as well. So he's getting hives, and then eventually it cuts to the final shot where he's got these really puffy eyes, which I can't get away with blood, obviously. So they had to give me time to apply that. But luckily, it was a nice bunch, and they let me have that time. But yeah, that was quite fun.
And how do you do your research for something like that? Where does that process start for you? Googling people's allergic reaction.
Google puffy face.
Luckily, I have a nut allergy, so I have my own pictures of myself.
Oh no, that's proper. That's method makeup. Yeah. That's big.
But yeah, I've got some interesting Google images on my phone that yeah, some disgusting stuff. But there are books and stuff as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to ask what your process is with a director. If you're trying to, if somebody's got a picture in mind and you've got something, your design in mind, how do you kind of meet in the middle with that? What's the process of sort of finding the thing that suits you both?
I normally take their image and then I draw my own, or I'll get my own reference, and then I just kind of meet it in the middle somehow. It's instead of, especially with zombies, they're we want the teeth exposed and stuff like that. I'm just no, that's so Halloween. Yeah. So I generally try and keep away from especially on the side of the face. It's that's good for some certain things, but not for this vision that you've got where they've just turned into a zombie. They're not going to have that look. Yeah. So eventually people do listen, but we meet in the.
It's interesting though. Thinking about the realism of what the level of decay is for a zombie and stuff. That must be such an interesting process.
Yeah, because obviously people are going from The Walking Dead all the time. They want those kind of zombies, but those zombies have been around for how many years now, decaying and rotting and stuff. So
yeah.
I haven't watched it for a while. I went off it a bit, so I don't know what that zombies actually look like now.
Too many zombies.
I'm just figuring that they're just skeletons walking around now with a bit of flesh hanging off. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I've only seen the opening sequence of The Walking Dead, so not even the whole
first episode. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Do you watch that stuff in your spare time then, Jojo? Is that your personal film interest as well, or is that just work?
I haven't watched The Walking Dead since I think season 5. I just got a bit bored of watching it. I generally watch like fantasy stuff now, and I do watch horror films all the time, but I don't really. I watch them more for like what I can find wrong in the film now. That's the thing. When you work in film, you can't really concentrate on the film because you just nitpick at everything. Like, and it's annoying. And the amount of times I've rewound something because I've seen something wrong, like continuity's wrong or something's wrong. It's crazy, isn't it? But that is what film does to you.
It sort of creates this sort of over analytical brain that it becomes hard to turn off, right?
Yeah.
And this is when a film then does make you just sit in your seat and be in awe of it. It's why I often really love Christopher Nolan films, because often his films are the closest I get to actually being able to just be a spectator and just enjoying it and not thinking about how it's constructed. I also had it with when I watched Steven Spielberg's West Side Story, because watching that, it was just so exhausting. Like I think 5 minutes into it, I was just like, the planning, the amount of people, the camera movements, like all of this just seems like this has taken so long to do, and my brain just had to go, no, just sit and enjoy it and watch it. I just couldn't even begin to fathom the amount of time and effort, I suppose. And that's when you're beaten into submission by quality, I suppose. Is what happens, which is nice. To try and sort of turn that part of the brain off. Does anything do that for you? Is there anything you've seen that you're like, that was just, you were almost in awe of it? Which that's to me the feeling that I get when I can switch that part of my brain off.
Not anything recent. I mean,
yeah.
The only film I can probably watch all the way through horror-wise is probably Alien. Without nitpicking.
A classic.
Yeah. But other than that, yeah.
No.
And what's the longest amount of time it's taken you to prepare an effect on somebody? Because, like, you hear all these stories, don't you, in the public eye about actors getting ready for a certain part or a certain movie with prosthetics, and it takes 4 hours to get into makeup and everything. And I just wondered, what's the longest process, and how do you kind of stay patient, keep chatting to the actor? Like, how do you manage that situation?
So I worked on a series for Disney last year for a couple of months, and some of the last couple of weeks of shooting, we were starting at 1 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah, to do actors, getting them ready for 11 a.m. So,
wow.
And they were some of them were 4-hour makeups, some were like 3 hours. So it was insane.
And then you're working all day as well on the set.
Well, luckily, we didn't really have to be on set, but we'd have to wait around until they finish and to take the makeup off, obviously. So we'd get out at about 9 p.m.
So oh my gosh, that is such a long day.
Yeah. So just
lots of snacks.
Lots of eating. That was it. Lots of eating, lots of smoking, lots of walking around. I mean, we did go on set a couple of times, but then they'd be ready for hours and not be used until stupid o'clock. So,
and do you feel like you get to form relationships with the actors in that way? Because I've always felt like, the time that you get in the makeup trailer is a really precious time as an actor, because you're it's how you're getting into your mindset, isn't it? You're sort of trying to relax, but you're also trying to chat to people. Do you sort of find that you get a special relationship with actors in some productions?
Oh yeah, especially if it's the same actor every day, which I did have generally. You form bonds with them. You hang out with them on the day off and stuff. We all went to the beach, and it was freezing, but we just walked around. It was a night. We was actually in Wales, so. Yeah, it's a nice day off. But yeah, you have to. You just have to be able to talk to people and chat about anything really. But at that time in the morning, the actors normally fall asleep, to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't know how they do. I don't know how they do it, because if someone's touching my face, I would not be able to sleep. But I guess they're just so used to it. They're just they'll be there, and then suddenly their head will just like drop to one side, and then they'll wake up and like, oh, sorry. But yeah,
Wow, that is stamina, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is stamina. And like, well, how do you create that environment? You know, what's important to you in your trailer or in your area that you're doing makeup? Like, what are your kind of tips and tricks for creating a good environment for people to come into?
I think just being like friendly, saying good morning, good afternoon, whatever. I'd always offer my actors like a drink or anything, or if they need to eat beforehand, because I know they're going to be sitting there for a while. And most of them say no, or they'll have a cup of tea first and whatever, and then get them comfortable, make them relax. Music is a blessing in a makeup trailer, or even like podcasts and stuff like that, audiobooks. You know, something for them to listen to apart from you. Do you know what I mean? In case they get bored of talking to you, you know.
Well, it's good though, because then you also don't feel like you have to fill the silence, because that's the thing as well, isn't it? If it is quiet, you kind of feel like you have to talk just because it's awkward, whereas actually, like you said, putting something on the background. Have you got any particular recommendations of kind of podcasts that you would put on in the background?
I mean, not my kind of podcast I listen to. I listen to like murder stuff and hauntings and
not so relaxing.
Not so relaxing. But like just like some chilled out jazz music or something really relaxed. Because obviously actors want to chill before they get onto set and do whatever they have to do, and they want to get into their zone. So it's nice for them to not have to talk all the time as well. Or if they want to sleep, that's fine. But yeah.
Yeah, and on set, I suppose, you know, I really feel like makeup becomes such an important kind of reference point for an actor as well. Like, is everything still okay? Am I, you know, because you kind of come in before each shot, don't you? And kind of do the checks and make sure everything's kind of as it was when you were in the trailer. And do you find that relationship kind of stays with you on set then, that you've set up in the morning?
Oh, no, definitely. Like, makeup and costume is where actors generally bitch about everybody as well. So it can be quite interesting. It's quite fun.
You don't do that, Jojo. Come on.
All right, complain.
Yeah,
no,
I mean, at least you can get to be yourself, can't you? That's the thing, you know.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. It depends who you're working on, I guess. Because you do get some actors who are like method actors and they just don't want to talk.
They just don't want to talk, and
yeah. So that's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, and also, you know, people who are really specific about what they want. Obviously, you've got a plan, you know, especially if you're doing like more natural makeup as opposed to like the effects.
Yeah.
You know, I have seen it before where actors have been quite specific about what they want and how they want to look. And do you ever kind of find that tricky to navigate, because you're also trying to like execute a plan, aren't you, that you've come up with the director, as you were saying, and your design is kind of the final word, but also they have to be comfortable with what you're doing.
Yeah, I always make sure that the actors, actresses are comfortable with how they look before they go out on the set, because, you know, it can put them off doing their job, basically. So, but yeah, I think most actors, actresses are fine, because that's what they're there to do, act how their character is. So,
yeah, definitely.
Fine.
It is an interesting one though, because I think it is a big part of confidence for people as well, feeling you know, because you are obviously very hyper aware that you've got a camera pointing at you and there's everybody scrutinizing your face basically, and that can be quite obviously scary for an actor, no matter how experienced you are, depending on the level of production that you're working on. But that's what I think makeup plays such an important part for in that confidence and in feeling, you know, like a character rather than like yourself as well, which I think is really important part of that collaboration.
Yeah, I mean, if they're thinking like my hair looks shocking and they're like not getting their words out, then that's not fair. Or I really hate my eyebrows, kind of thing.
Definitely. Well, because I've got curly hair, you can't see on the podcast, but I've got curly hair, and everything that I used to do, I know, shock horror. But people used to straighten my hair and then recurl it, obviously, because curly hair is a nightmare for continuity. But I had so many films, it'd take hours, they'd straighten it all and then recurl it so that it was like controllable. But it just used to drive me nuts because I've got no patience. So sitting in a chair and just ending up looking the same as I did in the first place used to drive me bonkers. But what's the kind of most extreme request that a director's kind of given you at the last minute that you've had to kind of create something from? Are you going to say Dan Allen again? Because that's fine. We can out him here.
Dan, actually, the first film I worked with on Dan Allen, I had to paint a guy fully I'm gonna
there you go.
Paint everything. No, that was a fun shoot though. But no, the most awkward request is someone turning up to set and then the director asks, "Yeah, I want this guy to have tattoos." I'm like, "What? I've been talking to you for like a whole month about this film and what you want, what it is you wanted, blah blah blah." And yeah, no, I want him. He needs to look hard. He needs tattoos. I was like, so I met the actor, and I was like, yeah, he's the sweatiest actor I've ever worked on. If they hear this podcast, they'll know who I'm talking about, but I don't care. But yeah, and so I've drawn these tattoos on his neck, on his back, on his chest, on his knuckles, and I'm like, I've got to do this every day. And then I realised, and then like halfway through the day, I'm like, I've got to draw these on about 10 times every day for a month. And it's like, no. And then I bought this special ink that's supposed to last for 2 weeks. So I went to the actor's hotel room, drew them on the night before, and they develop overnight. And I thought, yes, don't have to draw them on for another like 10 days at least. Nope, you sweat them off in like 2 days. So it's constant. And like when you're hand drawing something, it doesn't look the same every time.
Well, yeah, I was going to say the continuity must be so difficult as well that you're trying to match.
Yeah. And then there's like fighting scenes where it's all just come off, and then he hasn't got them on half. And I'm like, he needs his tattoo on. The director's no, we can't stop. I was like, what are you going to do? He's going to have and he goes, oh, we'll fix it in post. And I'm like, why didn't you just do that in the first place, or not have these tattoos?
That is filling me with stress, Jojo. The sound of that experience.
It was so stressful. So I've vowed never to do one of that guy's films again. I've done 4 with him. And we are mates, but I'm like, no, not doing it again. Cause
what if he said no tattoos?
No, because then it will be something else that's going to stress me out. I know it.
Yeah. I think that could be just like a last minute, like, oh yeah, and they're missing an arm.
So we need an arm chopped off. Yeah.
Yeah, just sort of gone.
Yeah, but yeah,
I was going to say tattoos must require a certain amount of like bits and bobs to do, right?
Well, if I'd known, I could have got tattoos made that like multiple of them and just stick them on. Even if every day I could have had enough and just stick them on. Bit of water, done. Instead of
like
sitting
those
there
ones that you get as a kid.
Yeah, you can get ones specially made for film that last a bit longer and they don't have the shine as much. So
that's cool as well if you just fancy like a bit of a change of look. If you're gonna get like a major tattoo, but you want to try it out first, you could do that couldn't you, for a little bit.
That's what that special ink that I bought was for. It's come from this company called Inkbox. Classic. But yeah, it's supposed to last for 2 weeks, so you draw it on. It's supposed to last, but it didn't last. I think it's like because the guy was obviously very sweaty and stuff, and it was a fighting film, so.
That's understandable.
Not his fault.
And where else do you get your materials from? Like, is that, obviously when you've been working in the business a long time, you kind of know all those places. But if somebody wanted to get kind of a starter kit for like looking at prosthetics and things like that, is there anywhere that you'd advise them to go to?
Yeah, my favourite shop is actually in London. It's called Tilt Makeup. So I go there for most of my kit products. But there's loads. There's a couple in London. There's some online that you can get. But yeah, I just prefer going to Tilt because I get to chat to the people as well. It's nice to see them.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you tell them the stuff you're about to be doing? Just like, okay, I need
sometimes,
materials for X, Y, and Z sort of gory details and stuff.
Yeah, no, all the time. And and I get discount too, so that's why I go.
Oh, there you go. That's worth it.
Pro discount.
And when you were training, I'm really interested in the training because where I went to drama school, we used to cross over with a makeup course as well because they used to just practice on us basically. And that was always really fun. We would basically have a bit of a snooze, as you were saying, because you're just doing 15-hour days. But, as part of your training, is there stuff that you learnt there that you still kind of use in your work that you do now?
I mean, I'd already taught myself how to apply prosthetics, just not how to make them. So now I can do both. So that's what I generally went for the course for, because I could already sculpt, because that's what I did at uni. So it's just the mould making and the process of that.
Where did you study at uni?
Westminster, my art degree, yeah. yeah, that's what I went there to learn. I mean, the course wasn't the best, and we ended up complaining about it, and we did get half of our master's fees back, so that was quite lucky.
Wow. And in terms of people kind of starting out and getting work experience and stuff, you know, do you ever have people come on and observe you or assist you? Or if somebody was kind of interested, like you said, maybe couldn't afford a course, but could come on and help practically on a film, is that something is that a way into the industry?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's probably the best way in, to just ask, because no one's ever asked me, do you have a qualification in makeup? Nobody has ever.
Can we just see your papers, please?
Yeah.
In fact,
before we let you on and tattoo this sweaty guy.
Yeah. I haven't even got my master's certificate yet, and that was like from 2019. So even if I wanted to show it, I couldn't. But yeah, if anything, I would just say just ask makeup artists, just hound them and ask for experience. I mean, I have an assistant that I bring on in Birmingham if I ever do a film here. And then I have a couple in London. So when I do films in London, I say, do you want to come on this film? If they're not busy, then they can come and they can assist and whatever. And it just gives them confidence as well. So,
you know, it's that experience like that really builds, right? And that's, I think, you know, you're talking about not even having the paperwork for your masters, but that's almost irrelevant in the sense of you know how to do the things and you're confident in delivering them, right? Like that's where a lot of it comes from. Perhaps
if you want to like work in a workshop, like a special effects makeup workshop, then you need to like obviously have the knowledge how to make the molds and sculpting and stuff like that. But if you just want to be on set and want to apply the makeup and stuff, then I wouldn't bother doing a course, to be honest. I'd just get on and get experience in that sense. I mean,
well, like you did, then you can always go back, can't you, and study afterwards. If you then find okay, I've got a gap here in my knowledge that I need to fill, then you can kind of get a bit more advice maybe about what the best courses are. And you know, probably by that time, new courses will come out that are up to date and stuff as well.
Because there's a lot of like shorter courses, like with really, really well-known makeup artists in the industry. They're like 2 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks that are probably better than the master's degree I did, to be honest. They were just too far for me to travel to. But so yeah, but yeah, experience is more, it's experience and getting really good photos of your work and having your portfolio. I just use my Instagram. I don't even have a website anymore because people just like, oh, what's your Instagram? Let's check out your work kind of thing. So yeah, I just use my Instagram for my portfolio.
That's great advice.
Interesting. Yeah, because I suppose that is just a place where so many people are connecting, especially like younger people are connecting as well.
Exactly.
And it is a great place to showcase what you can do. And people can very quickly see your work. Do you want to show any progression on your Instagram, or do you just want to be like, I can do all these things? So it's less like about progress.
I mean, when I did do my master's degree course, I did document what I was doing each week, I think, near enough. Or when I did like a makeup look for the course, then I'd post that. But I didn't work on any films when I was doing the course, so that was like near enough a year. So it's just that at that point. And then lockdown happened. I know. Then I did do a film after that. Sorry, I did a feature film, which is coming out on Friday to all streaming channels.
What's it called? It will already be out when this airs, but people can check it out.
It was Lair. It was Lair.
Oh yeah.
So that's coming out on Amazon and blah blah and all that.
Cool.
Yeah.
But if people aren't working on films, you know, as you've said, like you're taking photos of your work, so could you just do something at home, you know, and grab someone to practice on and kind of put a photo of that, so you can at least create stuff even when you're not kind of attached to a project?
Definitely. I mean, at the very beginning, if you scroll very far back down on my Instagram, that's all I did. Just sit there, legs out, arms out, and just do a cut or bruise or whatever. I even used my daughter a couple of times.
You got to be careful with that though, haven't you? Otherwise, if your makeup's really good, people will start asking questions.
Yeah. Yeah,
I bet they think that's very cool, though. I bet they love being used for that, especially with kids. I always find like that's, when we do courses with like really young students, that's something that they always are into is the blood and gore.
They love it so much. The amount of gouged out eyeballs I've done on like 8-year-olds. Crazy.
As we sort of, Jojo, this has been so cool. We're going to have to get you back on, I think. I feel like we've got loads more we could talk about. I just had a couple of questions that we normally sort of round things off with, which is what were you doing in your sort of teenage years that maybe sort of paved the way for you to do this as a career? Like, were you finding other people to sort of pretend to do cuts and bruises on back then, or were you just sort of more of a movie fan at the time?
No, do you know what? I wanted to work with animals when I was a teenager. I'm like a complete 360. No, I didn't. I wasn't interested in any of it when I was young. I obviously watched films, and I loved horror films, definitely fantasy stuff. But yeah, when I was a teenager, being a makeup artist didn't cross my mind. It was only until I was actually standing on a beauty counter, like thinking, what am I doing with my life here? In the middle of Selfridges, like, oh, this isn't me. What can I do? That I got into the SFX when I did a short diploma course, and that was part of it. And I was like, yeah, this is it. This is me. And I haven't looked back.
Yeah.
So that was 2013, I believe.
Wow. And so less than 10 years.
Less than 10
years.
Disney
set.
Disney,
as well, which is pretty cool.
Disney. Yeah.
But that's cool as well in terms of kind of, if you don't know what you want to do, just like kind of trying stuff so that you can find it. I think that's kind of good advice, really, in terms of, if you think it's something you might be interested in, but you don't know what the actual job of it involves, doing a short course, like you said, or something just to get an idea. Because once you've tried it, like you said, it just clicks into place sometimes. Like, oh, that's what I want to do.
Yeah. No, yeah. And I actually got my first teaching job. Not this Monday coming, the Monday after. I think it's 28. No, I don't know. Teaching SFX makeup to a college. So that's quite fun. That would be fun.
That's cool. That's quite full circle, isn't it? When you start to kind of teach other young people that are interested.
Yeah, I think they're 16, 17-year-olds. So give them some, because they're just doing beauty makeup there at the moment. So
yeah,
I'm going in for a day. And
you're going to turn up with your bucket of blood.
They've ordered all the blood, luckily. So I've just got to turn up. But I'm going to teach them like basic cuts and stuff like that they can do easy. Yeah.
Is that in London or is that in Birmingham?
Yeah, it's in Essex.
Okay, cool. Do you have to travel? Like, obviously, I know you mentioned sort of you've got some people in Birmingham that you get on board to do shoots, and some in London. Are you mostly travelling to London for the shoots, or are they normally all over the UK that's irrelevant?
It's where it's relevant, which is London, basically. So apart from when I was in Wales, most of it's been in or just outside of London.
Yeah. So is it advantageous, do you think, to live there, or is the commuting, is that good? I'm just thinking for those that are thinking, what do I do sort of after university or like after?
I mean, I've been doing it for years now, and I've lived in Birmingham like most of my life, so I'm fine traveling. I mean, I'm trying to pass my driving test. I failed the other week, but let's not talk about that. I'll pass the next. It's just because my kit is so big now. That's the difficulty. And then obviously some people. Some productions don't want to pay for your accommodation, but luckily I have friends in London that I can stay with. But if they don't not paying, then you have to pay for a hotel and stuff, and it can add up. So I mean, if you already live in London, then that's lucky. But I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind traveling.
Yeah, I think if you can, make it fun, put on a podcast and whatnot.
Just sit on the train, with the fake blood, having a play around.
100%. What would be the one bit of advice that you would give to sort of teenage you, looking back, just to guide you on this sort of filmy journey, if you could?
I mean, I'll probably not have kids so early. No, No, because I did have children, obviously I didn't have time at that point in my life to pursue what I wanted to do, which is why I'm doing it later on now. But I think, yeah, if I'd thought about it more when I was younger, then maybe I would have got into it quicker. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's the kids did get in the way, to be honest. Don't have kids. There you go. That's my advice. No, because it is hard as well in the industry having children and then trying to find work. Luckily, my kids are quite old now, so I can just leave them. Bye. See you in a month.
I'm off to Disney.
Bye. No, yeah. I mean, I would have liked to started a bit younger, and because then I would have enjoyed my early adult life instead of being stuck in these jobs that I didn't really particularly enjoy. Because now I love my work now. I love it. I mean, it can get a bit boring and sad and stuff when you're not doing anything. And then when you've been with people for like a month or so, you do tend to miss them as well.
Yeah.
They're not in my, until the next production, they're not in my life.
It's weird that, isn't it? That's like the post-movie blues, right?
It is.
We often describe like, you leave a set, but that's been like your family.
Yeah.
And not just that, this isn't just people you turn up for work with. You're often living with these people as well for an extended period of time. So you really get to know them.
Yeah.
And enjoy each other's company. And then suddenly...
they're not there. And you're at home,
not there.
Sat alone.
I know. Making your own cups of tea.
Yeah. So where's my runner?
Yeah.
But that's the joy, isn't it? When you find a group of people that, like you said, you've got a good vibe with on set, you work well with, the next time they've got something they're doing, they're going to think of you, and hopefully you get to work together again. And that's how you build up your kind of contacts, isn't it, over time?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of basically for the last couple of years, it's been generally the same people I've worked with since the first lockdown opened. It's been like the same film sets and the same film crews, basically, which is nice. So yeah. I haven't seen you for 100%. Like 2 months.
I know.
Hi. You messaged me yesterday. What are you on about?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can see why as well. You'd want to just sort of, when someone says, "I've got a project," you're like, "Yes," before you even necessarily know what it is. Because
some of the films I've said, "Yeah, do you want to work on my next film?" Yeah, sure. Then I read the script and I'm like, "Yeah."
What have I done? But at least you generally get reunited with that family, and then it's sort of like
that's what you go.
Like returning to Hogwarts, mate. And then there's some new kids, and then there's some of the old ones and stuff.
And the first AD again.
Yeah, damn it.
First AD.
No, I am. This has been so wonderful, though, Jojo. Thank you so much for your time. Honestly,
anytime.
It's been a treat. Yeah, we'll have to get you back on and peel back the layers even more on SFX makeup and stuff.
Perfect.
And once the Disney project's out, we can get you on to talk about that as well.
Disney,
once the
and Warner Brothers too.
Warner Brothers. Oh my God, yes, and that one. So many questions. So little time.
I think they're coming out. Well, they're supposed to. The Disney one was supposed to be July, but I don't know. It might be pushed.
Fingers
Classic.
crossed.
Yeah.
Classic.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Honestly, it's been such a treat, and we'll speak to you soon on another podcast.
All right, my love.
Jojo.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
That was super interesting.
Yeah, really interesting. I think it's just so brilliant because you never get time, do you, on set to be able to have these conversations with people about, you know, where they start off, where they get their inspiration from, all of that kind of stuff. So it's really amazing to have this opportunity to really pick someone's brain.
100%. And I feel like I got a really nice sense of, it's almost like the lifestyle as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is that journey like, actually being a makeup artist and actually going from set to set, trying to get in? It felt very cinematic. I felt like I was sort of listening to a TV show.
A day in the life of,
Yeah, or almost like a life in the life of, you know.
Not quite as catchy, but...
But it's always like, you know, you're never sure, you know, it's that pushing through barriers of just taking your first steps and just doing it. You know, when are you ever going to be ready for your first film? You just go and do your first film. You know,
definitely. And I think it's really interesting that is one of the, you know, a lot of jobs that we've kind of explored with people and talked about, you do kind of rely on other people to be able to create an environment where you can practice. But I think makeup and SFX is one of those really brilliant ones that you can practice at home if you've got the gear, if you can go out and buy, you know, a really basic, you know, you don't need expensive top quality stuff at first. You just need something that you can use to practice, and you can look at tutorials, copy things online, all of that kind of stuff. It feels like it's something you really can do and can practice at home, which I think is really exciting if you're starting out.
100%. And it's something that, you know, I think if you want to be a director and you're making films at home as well, it's something that you can try and learn a little bit of, and that way you start to understand a little bit about the process, and you can be maybe more respectful as well, and just get a sense of that craft, so you can communicate well with people within that world. Like, I always think that's really important as a director, that the more you know of all these different departments, the better you can communicate with them, because you have a little bit of the vocabulary that they're using, so it's going to just work out far better.
Definitely. And it's not just horror films as well. It's like, what film wouldn't benefit from a zombie coming in half an hour into it? Do you know what I mean?
All of them is the answer.
Exactly.
All of them.
I'm going to do that as an exercise on my next film. I'm just going to shove a zombie in halfway through, see if it likes the action.
Yeah. And now a zombie walks in. Oh my God, that's great. Yeah, well, when you get like access to like an improv thing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
One of you has just been bitten by a zombie, and
yeah. No, or you have that thing, you know, where you got two actors in a circle or whatever, and they're improvising a scene, and then you go and whisper into a third person's ear and be like, enter the scene as a zombie. And then you see how they're going to react to like the change in tone and energy.
Definitely. That reminds me of that film from summer camp last year. Do you remember that film? I can't remember the title of it, but they were three students thinking about
the writer's room.
The writer's room, yes.
Yeah.
That's what made me think of that. I think that's a brilliant premise for a film, trying to tell a story in three different genres. I think this could all link in very beautifully to the feature version of that.
I think so. Very meta as well.
Definitely.
Which is pretty exciting.
I remember once when I had my own experience with SFX makeup, where I was like beaten and bruised. I was like a beaten woman. I was just about to ask if you dabbled. I've played many beaten women, of course. That's what people like to write parts for. So I think one of my first ones when I was still at drama school, and we did a short film, and I was kind of like covered in bruising especially on my face. But because we'd been filming in a dark room, I'd kind of forgotten that I had it on, and so I went out to get a drink from like the cafe halfway through the shoot, and I had obviously all this bruising on my face, but I think it looked quite authentic because people started like gasping and looking at me as if somebody was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Are you okay? Like, why are they asking me? And then I rememember that my face was covered in bruising. But that's testament to good makeup, is testing it out in the world and seeing if people try and help you.
But do you remember we get that at summer camp as well? That happens every year because of the makeup module.
Yeah, and then in the canteen afterwards. Yeah. I'm always like, "What's happened to that child?" And then
I'm like, "Oh my God, Jessica, what happened to your face?" And then you're like, "Oh, I've realised."
I can't believe we fall for it every year, though. That's really embarrassing.
I know. I fall for it every 5 minutes. So then, like, you know, Jessica will walk away. I'm making up names here, and then you know.
Todd comes over.
Todd comes over, and I'm like, Todd, Jesus Christ, what on earth has someone done? Oh, yep, no, you go and join the queue with Jessica, mate.
I think that speaks more for our tiredness on camp than anything else. But
I think so.
But it's such an interesting thing to experience, and to just learn, like you said, learn a basic kind of tutorial about, or just learn how to do a cut or a bruise. I mean, there's so much kind of call for that in films as well. And even if it's not necessarily, you don't want to go into makeup, you know, there's lots of situations where that can be really useful, especially on an indie film. If you can do that as well, that's an amazing extra skill to have. But makeup itself is so complex as well. You know, I've worked on quite a lot of period dramas, and you know, the amount of knowledge that makeup artists and SFX artists have to have about time periods, and you know, it's just, there's such a huge world out there to explore if that's something you're interested in.
100%. It's very fruitful, as it were. And different. You get to work across genres, across mediums as well. And it's just really exciting. And it's obviously primarily a set based role as well, which means you're in the thick of it. Sometimes there's like you get the prep stuff, so you can develop stuff, but then also you are part of the crew. You're hanging out with them after set as well, and you're getting to spend time with the actors, and it's very social. So it sounds wonderful. I think
Definitely.
we need to.
It sounds like a great
careers,
life.
mate.
I know. What's the goriest thing you've had in one of your films? Then I'm interested to know now.
It's a good question. I've had someone like had all their sort of like bones broken.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and it wasn't gory though, but it was pretty gnarly and pretty savage. I've done sort of like zombie style attacks. I've never done zombies. I'm not sort of, I don't know. I avoid making zombie films for whatever reason. I don't know why. Man, lots of sort of like throat slitting, like neck tearing and stuff like that.
Cool.
That kind of thing. I like going overkill a little bit, so like if someone's getting stab them like 5 or 6 times rather than just once, and then there's loads of blood, and it's a bit more gnarly and purposeful.
Yeah,
I like it.
How did you do the broken bones then? That's cool.
I just got the actor to sort of like contort his arms and stuff.
Oh, nice.
And then you just add in some sound effects. We were on a tight schedule, on a budget.
Well, exactly.
You add in sound effects.
It's all about the sound.
And from the perspective of the camera, you can't tell. It just looks slightly wrong where their arms are and stuff. And the actor's in control of that. So it looks like the person doing the breaking is in control, but it's actually the actor throwing their arms in sort of weird directions and motions and looking like they're bending backwards and stuff. It's pretty effective.
That's very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a question here from Tabby. So Tabby wants to know essentially where she can find films to work on as a makeup artist in her local area, which is a good question.
Very good question. I think we've covered it in one of the other episodes where we talked a little bit about Jojo mentioned Shooting People as well, didn't she? That it's a great website for kind of crews starting out. But I also think, typically lots and lots of colleges and universities will have film departments, but not necessarily makeup departments. So student films, I think, are a great place to start out as a makeup artist, because you're also in an environment where everybody's learning. So it's not so scary. You're not under huge pressure. You can go and try out ideas, get to know other people who are at your kind of level. And I think that can be great, because obviously there are quite a lot of makeup courses for film in London, but actually in other parts of the country you can get access to stuff, but they're just not as many as there are filmmaking courses. So I think it's a really good opportunity to link up with other kind of emerging creative people, and they've always got cool ideas as well. You end up working on a variety of stories and subjects and genres, like you said. So I think working with students, I think, can be a really good kind of thing in the first instance. And it's also, maybe you're not going to get a huge fee at first, but if they can at least cover your materials, so you take your kit with you and they're going to cover anything that you use or replace, maybe that's at least something when you're starting out, even if you're not going to end up on a full day rate first thing.
100%. And this is why film attracts people of passion, because it requires passion, and if you don't have the resources, which most people don't, to just not work and just throw yourself on stuff for free, then this is going to be your weekends at first. This is
Definitely.
You're going to start out by working on things in the time that you're not paying the bills, essentially, which is why if you can do it from an earlier age, you give yourself sort of a head start, because you don't need to work, generally speaking. You sort of do it outside of schooling. But yeah, that should help.
Absolutely. And also, if you've got something that you want to explore makeup wise, if you're really interested in somebody breaking an arm or whatever that is, like you were saying, Dan, you could write a script with that in it and have a go at home and see how you can make that effect look cool, the angles that you can shoot it from, the lighting, like you said, putting sound on it as well, and kind of really looking at all the ways that you can build on a makeup effect as well to really feel like that situation is realistic.
100%. Sound advice, Larry Jones.
Thank you. And
Wonderful.
yourself.
I try. I rehearse.
Do you? Good.
Thank you so much for joining us, guys. It's been a treat as always. And we will see you on the next one. And don't forget to send your questions to podcast@youngfilmacademy.co.uk.
That gets quicker every time. It's like a terms and conditions thing that you have to do in voiceover as an actor. Where it was very quickly towards the end. Conditions. Terms and conditions apply.
Terms and conditions apply. What are the terms and conditions of this podcast? Enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Have a good one.
Get inspired. Get creative.
Nice.
We'll see you soon.
See you soon.